Peace and blessings. My name is Yolanda Knight. My African given name is Ayotunde, which means joy has returned. From birth, this has been the work my soul must have, as our Iya Katie Cannon taught us. If I am joy returning, there must have been an interruption of joy for black women because I am a black woman. And I must first bring joy to myself before I make easy the rekindling of joy and healing for my community. The title of my project is Black Girl Trauma versus Black Girl Magic. My project site was Clark, Atlanta, the Department of English and Modern Languages. Dr. E.I. Georgine Bess Montgomery was my site facilitator. In this project, I have journeyed to discover that the medicine for our trauma is in our magic. The magic that was called evil, simplistic, and caused many black women to be killed for. The magic still returned to save an entire nation of people in Haiti. We opened this video with remembering and honoring the indelible, immortal aspects of our ancestors who hoped for our collective well-being throughout their lives, even through their lives being filled with setbacks, disappointment, sadness, and dis-ease. To engage the ritual healing spaces, we must realize that we have 4,094 ancestors for us to be here at this given time. They travel to this earth realm with us. When we make our last circle around the sun, they will go to that realm. They are waiting on our arrival. They will still be with us then. This is our great cloud of witness that calls us to safe, sacred, and healing spaces. So when we return to them, we return our life source completed, ready to do the level of living, healing, and liberating to those that the stories have not been told to. My theological reference is Matthew 17:1-6, Jesus Christ's Transfiguration. After sitting with his ancestors, he was able to remember his healing, his passion, and his purpose. I've taken all this information to curate a documentary on Black Girl Magic, a digital storytelling of 4 black girls who live unapologetically in their magic, own their medicine and their liberated black wombs, and engage in communal healing, sacred, safe spaces. Hear now from these magical black girls. What does black girl magic mean to you?
To me, black girl magic is where mysticism meets majesty. I think understanding, especially as an African-centered educator, the chemical that is melanin, how it functions in the brain, in the eyes, in the ears, in the body of black women and black people, and what that chemical does in the makeup of who we are. And I think it is represented and we see it show up in every aspect of black life and black womanhood. Oftentimes we refer to ideas like dance and music and art and culinary creation, and we find that there's something different in the black woman. So when we look at melanin and how it functions in dance, oftentimes our white counterparts are trying to get the step 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're at 5, 6, 7, 8. And so there is a rhythmic, motoric, mystical, divine something that is not only magical, but it's majesty. and it makes us superior beings. And the Black woman in particular being the birth, the one who births creation and new life, makes us something special that can't always be explained, but that is felt and that is understood in the vibration of our being and our way of life and how we show up.
As a Black woman with a healing Black liberated womb, what is your medicine for the traumas that Black women have experienced?
I'm still trying to figure out what my medicine is. You think you know?
Mm-hmm.
Personal medicine. So there's so much unpacked trauma in our community. And so I think that as a Black woman, an aspiring womanist, an aspiring liberation theologian, it changes. It's fluid. It's not something. We don't have medicine. We don't have one Tylenol or one penicillin. We have to be everything. We have to be an antibiotic. We have to be an antifungal. We have to be an antiperspirant even, where we have to be so many different types of medicine, and we've had to adapt because of being enslaved and being broken away from families and being called welfare queens and all of these other things. And so, as a woman, it's difficult to say what my medicine is, what I give to people, because it seems like I give whatever is needed. And I think a lot of women will say that same thing.
That one's a tough one, largely because I don't have a biological daughter. I adopted my daughter. So, there's a part of me that says that when I hear the word womb and when people lift that up, I'm the barren woman. As much as my daughter really is my daughter, my grandkids are my grandkids, I don't have the experience that most women have of having really birthed a baby or another human being. And so, but when I still think about giving the language healing, liberated womb, I think womb is the sense of giving birth to anything. And I think that my experience is of late, maybe not even of late, but of my life is that there are so many birthing experiences that we have. The one thing that I have as a Black woman who might not have given birth to a human being but I still nurture life. As a matter of fact, what has been the most beautiful about raising a child, not my own, a child that didn't come through my loins, is that the power of that is that those moments when that child really becomes yours, whether you birth them here or not. But when I think about the liberation of our womb, and maybe that's my liberation, maybe that's the story I can tell, is that I never would have imagined as a young child that I would have been a woman who would have never given birth to a child. I always thought that was something that I would do. But I think the power of a liberated womb is the womb that didn't have to be filled with a being in order to be made whole, to become whole. And so I think one of the greatest gifts I have right now in my relationship with my daughter, in that magical moment when I realized, I think, that she became mine and I became hers, was that liberation of recognizing the possibility of loving something and loving it fully and wholly as God gave it to you, and not because. I think there might have been a part of me that might have believed that because I gave birth to something that I did it. You know what this liberation for me has been, is recognizing I didn't do anything. That God in His goodness, the fulfillment and the liberation of my womb was that God could make a womb out of something that you might not have imagined to be a womb. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Dr. Love, tell me what sacred safe space looks like to you.
What does sacred safe space look like? For me, it's a communal space. It's hard to create. We can create individual spaces for healing, but the power is not in the individual work, although that is necessary. I shouldn't say the power is not it, because power is in the individual work, but I think the healing is communal. So for me, a sacred healing space is a space with a community of people who are committed to what we have recently started to call revolutionary Black grace. And revolutionary Black grace is the grace that we extend to each other, the love and care and connectivity that we extend to each other. We experienced that today when someone did a ritual of connecting with each person and saying, I see you, I love you. That was revolutionary Black grace. And it creates, what should I say, it's a vulnerable space, and at the same time it's a bold, courageous, and safe space. And sometimes I say, not all spaces of transformation are safe because they require courage. They require courage. They require trust. So there is some risk. I think there's some risk involved in every sacred space that would be safe. But the benefit of that then is the effervescence. It's like what bubbles up in that space, the power that comes forth. And it can be through song, it can be through poetry, through, in the Yoruba tradition we say, Ofo Ashe, words of power. The words that change the energy in the room. When we can experience that, then that space, whether it's in a chapel, in a church, in the living room, at the restaurant, in the park, in the courtyard, wherever it is, if we can experience that level of connectivity and energy and spirit movement, then that space becomes sacred.
My project outcomes are healing in the community can be an empowering experience as individuals can learn from each other, share their strengths and resources, and develop a sense of collective agency and resilience. Healing in the community is essential for Black women because it provides a safe and supportive space to address shared experience and trauma, contribute to collective healing, break down stigmas, and foster empowerment. By prioritizing healing in the community, Black women can promote their well-being and contribute to a more resilient and empowered community. My next steps are to create healing retreats for Black women to rest and identify their medicine, to continue a full featured film of the women in the documentary, and to seek out further education to expand my research.
My family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside.